Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Well, welcome back to the Brand Innovation Stage. We're really proud partners of MadFest at CoCubed, and we're passionate about helping the world's biggest brands work with the world's most innovative startups, and that's exactly what's going on. But to tell you a little bit more about CoCubed, here's a 30-second overview of what we do. Let's go. So we are passionate about connecting startups and corporates, and our big belief is that the future already exists. Startups have invented that future. It just needs to be scaled. And so corporates bring the scale, startups bring the innovation. It's very Dragon's Den, and that's what we're doing here. If you're interested in this, we actually track and monitor over 12 million companies. 35 of them are here at the House of Innovation, and you can connect with them. But if you've got a more specific challenge that you're looking to solve, then talk to any of the guys in the lab coat or grab me after, and we'd love to help look at how we can bring our network of startups to solve your challenge. The other thing, the big opportunity for you at MadFest is to get involved in the speed dating. You guys look like you're all ready to date, and we've got speed dating happening over in the House of Innovation. You can tell the team what you're interested in, and they will curate 5 companies ready to date you. They'll make sure that you rotate every 5 minutes. It's a lot of fun and a good way to spend half an hour just to get a little glimpse into how the industry is evolving. So sign up for that if you're interested. But right now, it's time to move on to our brand challenge. Are there any lovers of Marmite in the room? Woo! Yeah, there we go. All right, cool. Nira, why don't you come up and tell us a little bit more about what you do at Unilever.
Hi everyone, my name is Nira, and I am the Channel Innovation Lead at Nutrition in Unilever.
Okay.
Yes, and basically we're looking for new mechanics, tactics, ideas to keep our brands going, essentially.
Okay, cool. So today you're putting 20K on the table for a paid pilot with one of the startups.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the challenge you're looking to solve today?
Yeah, so today we come with the Marmite challenge. As you know, Marmite is an iconic British brand. It stands out for its umami flavor. So some people love it, some people hate it. But we want to keep the legacy going, and for that we need to recruit more people, especially the younger generation. So our challenge for today is to get the younger generation to try Marmite and see if they love it or not.
There we go. All right. Great. Well, take a seat, Nira. We are going to bring up these 5 companies one by one. The way the format works is they'll pitch for 3 minutes, then we've got a couple of minutes for questions, and then we'll go to the next startup, and then we'll get Nira back to announce the winner. So it's all very fast and furious, a little bit Dragon's Den. Strap yourselves in, and let's get going. The first challenge looks at how to helping brands to connect with consumers around sustainability. And of course, that's a topic that the next generation of consumers in particular are particularly passionate about. So to tell you more about Earthly, please give it up for Lorenzo.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us. So what is Earthly? We basically created Earthly in 2020 to help brands to transform companies into responsible brands and regenerative brands of tomorrow. Our goal is to help investments into nature and help to remove at least a gigaton of carbon, but also helping local communities and biodiversity. When we looked at the problem, we really found 2 issues in the market: trust and engagement. We really wanted to help businesses to invest in nature-based solutions that could be trusted. So we built a world-leading assessment that actually won us Best Climate Tech at COP27 last year. And we really want businesses to invest in nature-based solutions that can protect their reputation, but go further than just carbon, helping biodiversity in local communities. And we really wanted to draw more investments to nature-based solutions. They only receive 3% of funding, but could have 33% of the climate mitigation value. And so we want to educate and inspire people to invest into nature-based solutions. And we think that by doing those things, we can really create a real spinning wheel and help brands to invest into nature and engage their customers. So what can we do when we're looking at Marmite? What we really want to achieve is connect to a younger generation. What we've seen is that 73% of millennials are willing to pay more for sustainable products. We really see that the connection with the younger generation is focused on the environment. We have to understand the why. And really we see that by connecting Marmite with a younger generation and understanding the full potential of the environmental benefits that the product not only delivers, but can deliver through an activation with Earthly could be really, really important. So how could we do that? We could basically help you to reward people with nature-based solutions. You know, it's 100% vegetarian product, so you can reward them with nature-based solutions that are close to your supply chains, things like regenerative agriculture. So finding ways that not only connects with the values of the brand, your supply chain, your locations could be a really good way to help educate and elevate the understanding of what you do, but also have a positive impact with nature. And how could you do that? The what? You know, we could deliver a peel and reveal strategy, something easily that could be put on pack. We could deliver a QR, buy one, plant one solution, something that could open on app, not only enable you to track your users, but also educate them on what the brand is doing and exactly what the power of nature-based solutions can deliver. We've been working, with many brands, and we really feel that by doing this, we can not only increase your reputation, build loyalty and recognition, and really deliver on impact that not only Unilever looks to deliver for its net zero strategy, but enables you to really connect more deeply with your customers. We've been working with 600 brands around the world. With Innocent, we did a campaign which saw a 60% uplift. The investments into nature-based solutions don't need to be seen just as a cost, but could actually be paid for by the uplift in the campaign. We're really happy that, with our engagement tools, we can not only help educate people on nature-based solutions, but really share the power that, that they can deliver on local communities as well. Nature-based solutions have that triple effect, and really connecting on the social aspect is something that we would be really keen to work with you on. Delivering not only a nature-based solutions that can balance emissions, but goes that much further. Thank you.
Well done, Lorenzo. Strong start. Let's get Nira up here and we'll jump into questions.
Thank you so much. So I'll go quickly. So this is very interesting, sustainability angle. What would be the brand point of view on replanting trees, for example? So how could we be authentic in this space, given that a lot of brands try to do something here?
I think, when looking at, the proposition, it doesn't only need to be planting trees. Nature-based solutions have so many different interventions. It could be kelp and seagrass, regenerative agriculture. When looking at your brand in particular, I think regenerative agriculture could be a really good connection. But what we try to do is find a solution or a nature-based solution that actually compare to your values. So for Activision, for instance, the makers of Candy Crush, they wanted female empowerment. So we were able to find a project that could actually bring out not only the carbon advantage, but also the female empowerment. So we would work to find a project that can pull out more of those values, and it doesn't just have to be tree planting.
Okay, great. We would love to hear more about that as well. And then as a brand with a fun and quirky tone of voice that we are, how could we land this message in that way so that we could engage the consumer?
Yeah, I think there's lots of great elements that could be connected with animals or different ways of bringing out a gamification. I think one of the things that we've seen work really well is that as an individual you could have an impact. It might not seem like a lot, but also what the entire community is doing in this activation could really be powerful. So how do we get the excitement and show the community value, almost gamifying the impact that you're having? So I think it doesn't have to be a dreary thing. We always try to speak in a really open and optimistic way. The solutions for the environment are here. We just need to take action.
Thanks. Do we have time? No.
We'll move on, but thank you, Lorenzo. Well done, Nira. Great job with our first pitch. So from sustainability, we're now going to dive into the world of personalization and how can brands create more interesting, more engaging messaging in a more personalized way. From Odore, please give it up for Karan.
Thank you. This green one is next, right? Hi everyone, my name is Karan and I am one of the founders of Odore, and today we are here to capture a new generation to engage with the lovely brand Marmite. So who are we? At Odore, we are a product engagement platform that helps consumer brands to drive physical product trial, engage with their target demographic, capture valuable first-party data, capture product reviews to build authenticity, and drive brand sales at key retail locations. We do this by plugging into all of your digital channels. So you have a few logos on screen, but wherever your customers sit online, we can capture their attention in that specific channel. So how our technology works is it's based on a couple of key pillars. Number one is understanding your customer better. Number two is once you've understood your customer better, personalize the content that is deployed across all of these marketing channels. We have turnkey logistics operations to drive physical product trial. So a customer can receive a physical sample of Marmite in the comfort of their own home to determine whether they love it or whether they hate it. And we're proud to work with some of the biggest and most respected brands in the world because our solutions do really work. And what we've done today is come up with a couple of key challenges that we see Marmite facing when looking to address Generation Z. Number one is lack of product awareness. Generation Z may not necessarily be aware of Marmite. Number two is the rise of alternative and substitutes in the market. And we have to educate these customers that Marmite was first to market and it's of the highest quality. And number three is personalizing the brand messaging. So we're catering to this new demographic. Now, how can we do that? So we have a couple of examples of how we can sample and drive product trial to channels where Generation Z actually are. We're looking at channels such as TikTok, which has seen a massive rise in the past couple of years, as well as partnering with strategic influencers to build authenticity and deliver real content to engage with this new demographic. More channels that we can deploy and where we see being really effective for Marmite, including metaverse campaigns to engage with customers and build that brand engagement, looking at Snapchat, and making this experience less transactional and making it more engaging by incorporating gamification into these customers. And the magic of working with Odore is that it's really easy and really seamless to set up, and campaigns can be deployed in just under 2 weeks' time. Now, specifically for Marmite, we're looking at a play on the traditional love it or hate it messaging by plugging into channels such as TikTok, Snapchat, engaging new customers, and offering them a chance to trial a new sample. Once they do get a sample, we can drive traffic to key retailers, leverage discounting and coupons with delivery apps, Deliveroo, Uber Eats, or other key retailers for customers to buy the full-size product. And results that we can see is growing your CRM, capturing first-party data, generating product reviews across all retail sites to build authenticity and legitimacy for the brand, as well as, of course, driving product sales. And finally, to conclude on is sustainability. So we're proud to say that we are a carbon positive company and we offset the emissions from all our internal operations and the delivery of each physical sample to each household. And we can capture this into after the marketing campaign is deployed and looking at initiatives to engage with this demographic one step further. Thank you very much. Happy to answer questions.
Well done, Karen. All right.
Thank you so much, Karen. So my first question has two parts. So what would you believe should be the key social channel for Marmite, and how does this channel differentiate to recruit this audience?
No, that's a good question. I think for Generation Z, it's a mixture of tapping into channels where they currently are. And the flexibility of our technology is that you can tap into multiple channels at the same time with a click of a button. So we see TikTok being very popular, Snapchat being very popular, of course, metaverse for virtual stores to create that kind of game and a more immersive experience as opposed to being a transactional acquisition campaign. And by incentivizing them to try the product, it's a free opportunity for them to actually make up their own mind. Do they like it? Do they not? And we can track that as well. 60, 70% of people like it. So it gives the brand managers real-time visibility into how effective it actually is.
Right, cool. Thank you so much. And second question? If we were to offer an incentive to buying the product, what would this be?
It can be anything of your choice. It can be driving couponing to your key retailer. It can be buy one, get one free. Or what we can do is, because we collect first-party data at the point of acquisition, we can determine how price-sensitive they are, and then segment customers, coupon some of them, drive some to store, drive some to online, depending on what their preferences actually are.
Great, thank you so much.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well done, Karen. All right. So we've looked at sustainability, we've looked at personalization. But of course, there's a huge amount of people that love Marmite. So how can you turn the fans of Marmite into your own influencers? To tell us more from Whisper, please give it up for Ollie. Come on.
Hey everyone, hey Marmite, how's it going? I'm Ollie, co-founder of Whisper, where we turn your brand's consumers into your best influencers. Now, I'm here today to help tackle 2 key challenges that we've identified as part of your brand challenge. Now, Marmite is of course an iconic brand, but you say you fear that you're losing the younger generation. Now, the 2 problems that we've identified are that young people are no longer trying Marmite. That came as a shock to me. As a Gen Z member and a Marmite lover, I even found out that my own co-founder has never tried Marmite. Now, this challenge is personal. But we think this is directly related to problem number 2, that Marmite are struggling to connect with Gen Z online. But don't worry, it's not you, it's us. We're an incredibly difficult generation to reach online, and that's traditionally because Gen Z just don't trust established channels anymore, even the ones you'd think of when you think of Gen Z, like influencers. In fact, 88% of Gen Z say they no longer trust influencers. They see them as fake and inauthentic. That's why the average influencer engagement rate is now just 2.4% on average. That's 2.4% of their audience engaging with them. And influencer content is easily identifiable as an ad. And 99% of Gen Z say they'll skip an ad as soon as they recognize that it is one, which is typically less than a second in. But don't worry, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, there is hope. 84% of Gen Z say they're more likely to be influenced by a friend online than anyone else. So Marmite, perhaps it's time to try something new, try something different. Introducing friendfluencing. At Whisper, we use the influence of the regular social media user to create content and spread the word about brands and products on their personal accounts. That way, we reach an audience of friends and family, not fans and fake followers, people who love and trust us the most. That's why we achieve 10 times higher engagement rates than traditional influencer marketing, 5 times higher conversion rates, and for the same budgets, upwards of 100 times more UGC. That's real content created by real people for real people that doesn't look or feel like an ad. That's why we've managed to achieve 45% engagement rates for brands like Yosuchi across 55 pieces of UGC for the same budget it would cost for just one influencer. So, what would a campaign for Marmite look like? Well, this September, we'd aim to activate hundreds of student influencers across the UK to go out, whether they have a jar of Marmite already, have been gifted one, or go out and purchase one, to create content around them trying Marmite. Whether it's the first time or the 100th time, whether they love it or hate it, we want to get their friends involved, we want to get their new flatmates involved to create content, sharing and inspiring a whole new generation to create a conversation and try Marmite. But the value doesn't stop there, because the best creators from this cohort can be reactivated again and again into the future, creating an ongoing ambassador relationship with your own customers who love you. So remember, if you're trying to reach the audience of Gen Z, look no further than Gen Z themselves. Thank you very much. We've been Whisper.
Great pitch, Ollie, great pitch.
Thank you so much. This is very interesting. So, how would you drive mass reach and awareness through friendfluencers? How could this be scaled up?
Well, that's great news as well, because friendfluencers specifically, unlike traditional influencers, have super segmented audiences. So if you think about where your friends are from, they're typically from exactly where you are. This September, we're going out to over 500,000 students towards the UK universities. We expect to have a mass amount of students on board ready to go for Marmite. We're going to find the Marmite lovers amongst them, find the people who want to engage with the brand, and activate them across the UK, across all of the universities. We already have a dedicated database of over 2,500 friendfluencers, and it's growing at over 100 a day. In September, we expect that to absolutely boom. We can also onboard any activations that you have ongoing, so any product sampling you're doing to UK student universities, we can bolt on top of that, turn them into your influencers, and really make sure that we're creating content at scale like no other.
Great. I think you semi-answered my second question, which would be, what would be initial what would be initial thought on how to recruit the right type of friendfluencers for this audience? But
yeah, exactly that. You know, we're trying to reach the audiences. Our software is specifically unique to actually finding these people as well. How it typically works is, you know, we onboard the influencers, we invite them to join the program, the advocacy program. Of course, their first step in approving them is that they actually are interested and they apply, but they also have to apply to the job. We also pre-approve them. We can select the ones we want to participate in the campaigns and make sure that they fit the profile of the people we want actually activating for this campaign. So there's lots of steps in between to make sure that they're the exact right people we want talking about Marmite.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ollie. So we've looked at a range of different ways to engage with the next generation, but what about engaging with them through emerging technologies? Well, our next company does just that. From Rock Paper Reality, please give it up for Joseph.
Hello, I'm Joseph with Rock Paper Reality. Thanks, Jeremy. We are an immersive services agency, top tier, focused on strategy and consulting and studio production delivery for brands. So really helping the biggest brands be able to deploy immersive strategy across marketing to drive outcomes across the sales funnel. So why AR? Clearly, if you look at what's happening between the years, you can see on a normal sort of brain, what's happening in the brain is very, very flat, very passive, very stagnant. There's not a lot happening. Versus in an AR brain, you can see it's triggered, it's fired up, it's activated, it's a lean-in, it's a participatory experience. You're enabled, you're empowered, you're doing something. It's a brand experience, a lived experience. This is why this has far better memory retention, memory recall, and better outcomes for the brand in terms of the user. So AR is omni-channel. That means that once you build a web AR experience, it can be deployed across many different touch points, whether it's out of home, on print, social media, email, your CRM. It gives you all many different touch points through which to engage the customer. So web-based, it works through a mobile device. Simply by scanning a QR code or a hyperlink, you're able to activate and reveal the experience. So for Marmite, this means that they'll be able to look at the different channels where they would want to meet their customers, whether it's on the packaging or on social media channels or on digital, and be able to create experience and go and meet their customers where they are, where they play. We're able to create many different types of experiences, whether it's mini games, puzzles. We're able to create educational content, the brand proposition through immersive 3D content that's memorable, it's fun, it's whimsical, and it's really engaging for the customer. And particularly for Gen Z, we know that they care about social causes, contributing to activities. We also know that there's a degree of interest in gaming, and also in sharing. So for Marmite, that means how can we leverage their social ambassadors, their social influencers to create that social link, that social campaign, be able to create activities that are linked to the campaign. So whether it's contributing to a grassroots cause, how can maybe help to fundraise or help to participate in different activities to really get them engaged. We can create that urgency, create those stakes. We can create more of an event around it. So particularly for problems around frequency of use or back of the cupboard problem or brand awareness, how can we kind of create that stickiness to be able to kind of, address the lack of brand awareness or stem, the brand stagnation. This is an example from what we did for Ben & Jerry's, particularly for one of their new product launches for a sundae ice cream, is how can we use sort of 3D immersive content, be able to show what goes into making a sundae ice cream in a way that's much more fun, whimsical, sticky, engaging through this gamified Rube Goldberg game mechanics. And this doesn't even require tampering with the labeling. It's a digital experience, so you can stand up a project within 3 months to go, deploy it, go live. It's all web-based. Anybody can access it. They don't need the packaging. They can be accessed online. We can also create, connectors, experiences to the packaging as well for further rollouts. Oops. Yeah, so we work with the biggest brands across the industry sector, so we're very knowledgeable in CPG, all the way from technology providers all the way to your end customer user. So, love to have you on that board. Thank you.
And thank you, Joseph. Come back up, man. Get you up here.
Thank you so much. So I think one question for me is, how we're struggling with getting the Marmite brand to be known with the younger generation. How could you execute the different technologies to drive that conversion, so get them into the brand?
Yeah, so I think it's looking at those channels. Where do we want to meet those users? So particularly if it's on social media or if it's on gaming platforms, as out of home, and be able to create content that will be sort of specific to those platforms. So particularly around connecting it to a social event or an activity or a grassroots campaign, to which they can maybe contribute to it by participating, and sort of see how, by participating, they're having a real, tangible impact that was also positive whilst they engage with the brands as well. So that's how one way to, looking at those channels. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank Thank you so much.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well done, Joseph.
Thanks, mate.
So that is 4 down. We have 1 to go. And our last company looks at sampling. With a product like Marmite, it's perfect for sampling. From Gift Up, please give it up for Tom.
Hello everybody. I'm Tom, I'm the co-founder of Gifter. I'm just making sure you can see the screen. Here we go. We are an influencer gifting company that focuses on sampling. We have this amazing opportunity to be able to put your product into the hands of thousands of influencers, nano and micro, so very small in size, enabling you to basically understand new ways in which your products can be applied to market, and also seeing fantastic ways you can see new audiences as well. At Gifter, we have 3 core value props. The first is we are an unbelievable way to put your product into the hands of the right people, first and foremost. But also, most importantly, we have an amazing opportunity to drive authenticity at scale. So we have a lovely, simple process at Gifter. Is if you love it, you share it. If you don't love it, you tell us why you don't like it. So there's always a value exchange in everything we do. We keep everything super simple. This does 2 things. This drives authenticity at scale, but also, most importantly, the ability to understand who can see that product in completely different ways. Fulfillment and postage, distribution and personalization is very important for us as well. So we make sure that we distribute your product at scale as well. We have warehousing, we take the product at scale, we personalize it, and we make sure that we can scale it out to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible as well. Tracking and reporting is the most important thing we do. There's no point doing something unless we can track everything from start to finish. And at Gifter, we can quantify all of the information and all of the data from every influencer that we work with. Sorry. Creator invitations are the most important thing as well. So at Gifter, we make sure that from our database of just over 15,000 influencers, we send invites out to the segments that are important to you. And we'll go into a little bit more detail in terms of segmentation as well. We then send the products to the influencers that love the products or want to try it. The influencers that truly enjoy it and basically want to try the product at scale can basically then create all the beautiful content as well. The main challenge here for Marmite was making sure that we could put the product into the hands of the right people. So Marmite wanting to readdress and make sure they connect with Millennials and Gen Z. We want to make sure that we really hit that audience as quickly as possible. So at Gifter, our approach is to send out this product to hundreds, if not thousands, of micro and nano influencers and challenge them to show us and show the brand and show their followers how they can apply this product in market. Now, the most important thing we can do in marketing, we have a really big problem in the industry with authenticity. So what we want to do is make sure we give the power back to the influencers. We don't want to control them in any way. We want to give them complete freedom to create the content that they want to create. This way, we can really understand and learn from this type of marketing. So personalization to every influencer is super important. Making sure that we give them the right information, but we're not controlling the output. So ultimately, they have everything they need to do and all the information they need to make an informed decision as to whether or not this product fits right for them and their audience. We then sit back, we watch, we learn, and we are inspired by all the content that comes through. All of a sudden, when we take control out of the equation, we get this amazing opportunity to learn and see that product being applied in completely new ways. Whether it be snacks, recipes, you name it, we get to see the influencers in completely exciting new experiences with the product. Once the content is created, we don't stop there. We want to make sure we amplify that content on completely new levels. So working with the brand, we want to amplify it across all of your organic channels and also across all your earned channels as well. So making sure that we put that product across your paid social, your newsletters, your PR, putting money behind it to make sure that that content, that UGC, that's the most authentic content that's been created, gets in front of as many people as possible. No, we don't just stop there. We want to talk about all the amazing campaigns that we've run. Food and beverage is one of our biggest sectors that we supply and look after. Heinz, one of our clients, I don't know if many people saw the campaign recently, the collaboration with Heinz and Absolute Vodka. We were part of that as their influencer gifting and sampling agency. We gifted this product to 150 nano and micro influencers. They created 550 pieces of content, generating over 8.4 million impressions, and from an audience as such a small audience, it's such a massive opportunity moving forward. And with Marmite, we will be able to do this. And this was only 150 influencers. Just imagine what we could do with 1,000 or 2,000 just this year. Thank you very much.
Great way to wrap things up, Tom. Bit of influencer, bit of personalization.
Thank you so much.
Questions?
So, question for me. I love that you've got broad reach, and a lot of people would be able to see this. But how could we really target the younger generation? So the really Gen Z, for example.
So I think what we would do is we make sure that we pick the right channels for you, and I think that the perfect opportunity here is definitely on TikTok. So making sure that we can do brand challenges on TikTok, and also implementing TikTok Shop as well. We want a call to action enabling us and the influencers to drive their audience to the quickest and most efficient way to buy your product. We've just launched a collaboration with TikTok and TikTok Shop, so that's something we can include. So we can do a lot of brand and awareness engagement piece with you, but ultimately we can work on TikTok Shop in order to drive sales for you at the same time.
Okay, great. And you just answered my second question, which would be how would you use this mechanic to actually drive conversion? But I guess...
Yeah, that's the perfect way. But the other thing is we can also drive people into stores as well. So you can imagine influencers receiving a physical gifter box, which we do very, very well. We can also drive the influencers into store so they can really go in on that shopper experience and show their audience how they can buy Marmite as well. But I think the most important thing is inspiring and then basically telling them where to buy that. I think that's the key challenge here. Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Cheers. Thank you, Jeremy.
Wow, well done to each of the 5 companies for pitching. We'll give Nira a minute to work out who the winner is. But while she does that, let me just tell you a little bit about how you can get involved. If you enjoyed today's session, there's 2 opportunities for you. One is make your own session. So we're doing speed dating right over in the House of Innovation. Share with the team in the lab coats your challenge, and they'll curate 5 startups just for you. You meet them in half an hour. It's a lot of fun and a great way to get a glimpse into how emerging technologies can be applied to your brand. Second thing is, this is what we do every day at CoCubed. We connect the world's biggest brands with the world's most innovative startups. And we do this as a podcast. So if you're interested in understanding how other brands are working with startups, check out our podcast. There's a startup for that. And you can go on that journey with us. And then last of all, if you enjoyed the Marmite Brand Challenge, you might also enjoy the Wix Brand Challenge, which is happening today at 2:35, or tomorrow we're looking at Taco Bell as well. It's all happening right here in the brand innovation stage. But now it's time to announce the winner, and I think we're going to have a trophy as well. But Nira, why don't you come up and tell me, let's go through them one by one. So we started our journey looking at sustainability with Earthly. What were your thoughts on Earthly's pitch?
So I really love the sustainability angle, and I think it's something that it's close to this generation, and so I think it could be a really good hook for this audience. And I think some of your ideas could also be used across a few of our other brands, so thank you.
Brilliant, cool. And then we looked at Odore and their big idea around personalization.
Yeah, so here I really love the idea of optimizing for social. It feels really, really relevant for Marmite. And so I'd love to hear more about how we could improve our offering in this space in addition to what we already do.
Okay, cool. And then we looked at influencers and the role they could play, the Friendfluencer from Whisper. What were your thoughts on Whisper?
Yeah, this is quite interesting because I think having someone... So having your own audience speaking to you, it's a really interesting concept. So we definitely be willing to explore this a bit further. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then the fourth one was looking at using augmented reality and other technologies from Rock Paper Reality. What were your thoughts on them? Yeah, so it's great to see this focus on AR, which is clearly something very future-facing, and it makes it a very interesting concept. Also, the idea of using our iconic jar. Yeah.
Cool.
Seems good.
And the last company that we just had was Gifter. What were your thoughts on Tom's presentation from Gifter?
I love the idea of having authentic creators sharing recipes. This is a really good way of showing how to use our product. So very, very interesting as well.
Okay, cool. Sounds like we could have 5 winners here. Of course, there can only be one. So why don't we do a little drum roll? Here we go. The winner of the Marmite Brand Challenge, 20K paid pilot is...
Whisper.
Whisper. Hey. Right on, Ollie.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to my co-founder earlier. He will try Marmite by the end of today. Let's go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We look forward to it.
Cool. Thanks, Ollie.
Pleasure. Hi as well.
All right, thank you very much. Big thank you to Nira for getting involved. Thanks to all the 5 startups for fantastic pitches. We'll be back here at 2:35 with Wix, but right now it's time to hand back to Mark.
Thank you, Jeremy, and well done to Whisper and all the other startups who pitched, and thank you also